Chambers, we have to start.
Recess, our having expired, go down resume business by instructions and is hereby so.
We are here now to start the official retirement of CINGO Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Representatives and members of the House of Senate, my colleagues of the Supreme Court bench, and leading class Chief Justice, former Chief Justices and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, and Dean or his destined and Dean of the Supreme Court Bar, the doyen members of the Diplomatic Corps, the President and members of the National Association of Trial Judges, the President and members of the Liberian National Bar Association, the President and members of the Association of Female Lawyers, the President and members of the National Association of Public Defenders, Madam Court Administrator and staff of the Judiciary, members of the press, distinguished guests, family members, ladies and gentlemen. In accordance with Article 72B of the Liberian Constitution 1986, which requires justices and judges to retire at the age of 70 years, we are here again today to honorably witness the retirement program of one who, in obedience to our organic law, is leaving her seat of honor after having reached the age of 70. Chief Justice Yanendu was appointed on September 28, 2022, to replace the former Chief Justice Francis C. Copper, who had reached the age of retirement, and on September 27, 2022, was honorably retired by the Supreme Court. On October 10, 2022, Chief Justice Liu was honorably escorted in an official ceremony to her seat of honor among her colleagues to serve as the 26th Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. Referencing the statement of playwright William Shakespeare in his play, As You Like It, Chief Justice Liu has performed her role well and is now exiting the stage where she sat and commanded, directed, and coordinated with efficiency. I ask for your attention as we begin with the official retirement program of Chief Justice Liu, beginning here in the chambers of the Supreme Court and following thereafter in a hall on the ground floor of the Temple of Justice. Thanks for being here to celebrate with us.
At this time, we now entertain the selection of the Monrovia Community Mass Choir.
programs, we have the order. Looking at program, we have the order, beginning with the President of the Liberian National Bar Association, the Minister of Justice and Dean of the Supreme Court Bar, and go on to the Justices.
Madam Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of Liberia, former Chief Justices and Associate Justices of the Honorable Supreme Court of Liberia, judges of circuits and specialized courts, officials of government here, members of the legislature, representatives of international development organizations here, senior councillors, Madam Vice President, members of the National Executive Council, distinguished members of the bar, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings, your honors, especially our illustrious outgoing Chief Justice, from not only the Liberian National Bar Association that represents the legal community of the Republic of Liberia, but also the legal community of the West African sub-region, where I also serve as president of the West African Bar Association. On behalf of the National Executive Council, the membership, indeed the entire legal fraternity of the Republic of Liberia, the Liberian National Bar Association extends its heartfelt salute to a jurist whose life's work has become an indelible chapter in the history of our judiciary. Of honor, Chief Justice Sianen G. Yo. You may know this information, or you may not know members of the bar and guests here, that our outgoing illustrious Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia also became the first female Vice President of the Liberian National Bar Association. Now you can see what has happened for the invaluable services to our profession, which have taken her to many places, and today, graciously, she is departing this honorable court as Chief Justice. Today, as the Constitution, which is our enduring covenant of governance, calls for the graceful closing of a remarkable judicial chapter considered to be, we do not merely witness the retirement of the Chief Justice, we honor the combination of decades of service, integrity, and unwavering fidelity to the law. Chief Justice Yo's journey from her formative years at the Ministry of Justice, the Law Reform Commission, to a tenure as an Associate Justice, and ultimately as Chief Justice of the Republic, has been marked by discipline, courage, and a deep reverence for the rule of law. Her judicial pen has been steady, her voice clear, and her moral compass unshaken, even in the most turbulent legal storms. She led this court with a right blend of firmness and humility, ensuring that justice was not an abstract idea, but a lived reality for litigants, lawyers, and the people of Liberia. Under her stewardship, the judiciary remained an anchor of stability, a guardian of rights, and a reminder that the scales of justice must be balanced, not in favor of the powerful, but in service of the truth. Chief Justice Yo has been more than the nation's top jurist. She has been a teacher to the young lawyer, a counsel to the seasoned advocate, and a conscience to the bar itself. She has challenged us, the Liberia National Bar Association, to uphold the nobility and calling, to defend the independence of the courts, and to serve the people with diligence and honor. As she now steps away from the bench, her honor leaves behind a legacy that will inspire generations, a legacy of courage over convenience, principle over pressure, and justice over expediency. Chief Justice Yo, the bar says to you today, your rope may be laid aside, but your example will forever clothe the conscience of Liberian legal profession. May the Almighty reward you your years of faithful service with peace, health, and fulfillment in the new chapter ahead. On behalf of the Liberia National Bar Association, Madam Chief Justice, I say thank you. You are served with honor. You retire with dignity, and you depart with enduring gratitude of the nation you have served so far. May God bless you, and may God bless the Republic of Liberia. Thank you.
Madam Outgoing Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, lawyers and members of the Diplomatic Corps and Consulate Corps, members of the Cabinet, judges of the Circuit and Special High Court, the legal advisor to the President, the Honorable Bujuben Keita, President and members of the National Association of Trial Judges, President and members of the Liberian National Bar Association, President and members of the Association of Female Lawyers, the Dean and Faculty of Students of the Adult School of Law, Madam Court Administrator and staff of the Judiciary, members and officials of the legislature here present, relative friends and guests of Chief Justice Bureau, members of the full estate, clergymen and imams, ladies and gentlemen. It is usually the duty of the Attorney General as Dean of the Supreme Court Bar to respond to the opening address of the Chief Justice during official function. Most notably, the opening of court and to welcome your honors. Today, however, we gather for a special occasion, a farewell tribute to the Chief Justice as she retired from her esteemed opinion at the helm of Honorable Supreme Court of Liberia. Today I stand here with profound gratitude and deep admiration as we honor our remarkable career and enduring legacy. As Liberia 10th female Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, your leadership has been a beacon of unwavering commitment to judicial independence, transformative reform, and the pursuit of justice for all Liberians. Since your appointment in 2013, you have exemplified bold and visionary leadership. Your tenure has been marked by persistent effort to modernize our judiciary, launching the strategic plans aimed at reducing case backlog, improving an infrastructure, and advocating fearlessly for the financial autonomy that safeguard our court independence. The legislation you, along with other champions, to grant financial independence to the judiciary stand as a landmark achievement, an enduring testament to your unwavering belief that an independent judiciary is the cornerstone of democracy and foundation for justice. Your dedication to justice extends far beyond structural reform. You have been a passionate champion for vulnerable groups, especially women and children, advocating tirelessly for equitable access to justice. Your leadership within the Liberian National Bar Association, including your service as Vice President and your role as founding members of the Association of Female Lawyers, underscore your lifelong commitment to empowering women in the legal profession and narrowing Liberia's gender justice equity. Throughout your distinguished career, you faced many challenges: unfunded posts, bureaucratic initiation or hallmark, and resource limitation. But your honor, resilience, and unwavering focus on reform have left an indelible mark. As you often said, justice is the foundation upon which peace and development stand. You have inspired a new generations of jurists and reformers, laying a foundation for judiciary that is more efficient, independent, responsive to the needs of our people. Madam Chief Justice, as you step into your retirement, you leave behind a legacy characterized by trained leadership and strategic reform, pioneering the modern justice that upholds justice, fairness, the rule of law, and your contribution has transformed our judiciary and empowered countless individuals and communities across the union. On behalf of the Ministry of Justice and the Dean of the Supreme Court Bar, I want to express our deep gratitude to your dedicated service, exemplary leadership, unwavering commitment to justice. Liberia is proud of you and your legacy as a reformer, a trailblazer, and a champion of judicial independence. In the world of Justice Ruth Berger gave him, we achieved endure change. Having one step at a time, your remarkable journey, exemplary, yet true, inspiring you as a continual working towards a more just and equitable society. May your retirement be filled with recognition you as richest deserve, and may your future endeavor continue to inspire and uplift our nation. Madam Chief Justice, we raise you for one quotation we normally stay where we are at 2 cases. Whenever someone is delaying or wasting your time, you most often say, "Council, pray." Pray, Council. Trust that we will remember you for that. As you get into your retirement, please feel free to make sure that the journey you have started continue by making sure those that you left behind are properly seated. And it is said most often that whenever your successor doesn't succeed, you are a failure. So, Madam Chief Justice, it is our belief that you will make it a must, work tirelessly to make sure that your successor will become a positive success as you are. I thank you.
Where is the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, Councillor Augustine Fire, giving a tribute here on behalf of the Ministry of Justice. As per the program, it was to be the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, the Minister of Justice, Councillor Oswald Twell.
The framers of our Constitution created our system. The Supreme Court was created as a tribunal in which all may appear for the assertion and protection of rights guaranteed by the Constitution, with confidence reposed in the soundness of this court and the purity of its motives. So, as I bear my tribute, Chief Justice, let me stand on existing protocol. First, let me state my respectful admiration for your courage as a woman to stand up to judicial dedication and service to our country, guiding the Supreme Court through some of its troubling times. I have worked with you through one of such troubling times, when this court stood criticized as we, only remembering the confidence reposed in us, for the soundness of our decision and the purity of our motive, made a decision that even in politics
law must abide. CJ, I may not have worked on the bench here with you for a long time, but when I introduced you, I said to you that you are a remarkable woman, and I meant that. I meant that because in our society, a society polarized by men, we women are judged differently, forgetting to know that we are socialized differently. I have worked here for just 2 terms of this court. You, from the day I arrived here, told me, leave your emotions, put life on your face, get ready for the criticism, because no matter what you do here, somebody has something to say. Secondly, you told me that when we make decisions here, it's for the bench and not for us. So we don't own our decisions. It's the bench that owns the decisions that we make. For me, there have been 2 times that I stood up that has left an imprint on my life for the past 2 terms of this court. And I made reference to our room of deliberations. Nobody I have worked with can be as meticulous as Seneo. When you write a judgment, you go, you come out, I think the English here, let's change. When you think you have finally arrived, you say, I think we should look at it this way. Police, let's look at it this way. The first time, of course, I was angry every day. When do we get finished with these opinions, what would happen? But by the time the first term ended, I have gotten accustomed to it. Madam Chief Justice, your meticulous effort and your ability to insist on the fine details is the lesson I've learned from you for this short time, for which I admire you so much. And I promise you, this your modus operandi is my commitment, as I said after you left. Because I know you're stepping from the bench sitting up here, but you are not stepping from service to your country and to the legal profession. Further, we owe you a great debt of gratitude for your distinguished service and your ongoing work on restoring this post to national governance through your judiciary 5-year strategic plan. For the rebranding of our judiciary. This rebranding, in my mind, as I read it, aims to focus on restoring confidence in our judiciary and to rightfully play its role in forging collaborative policies with the other 2 branches of government. I admire you for your ability to walk across the aisle and make your position known. As you start yet another journey or path of your life, one, I pray for you to be devoid of all the unnecessary criticism that this different journey or new journey make you to think, to look back. To look back is useless. You have served your time here. You've gone down in history. I want you to remember that those who will criticize you are beneath you. Because you are above them, that's the reason why they will want to pull you down. To pull somebody down, you have to be beneath them. I want to say thank you. But leave you with these words of a known poet, Khalid Gabon, who said, and this poem has come to impact my life in a way that I quote it now when I talk. He said, it is said before entering the sea that the river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled from the peaks of the mountain, the long winding road through forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees the open ocean, so vast that to enter there is seen nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river must not go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in the existence of human history. Because what you've done here, you cannot come back here to do. You've done your part. The river needs not worry about the past. The river must take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear. Because where the river is now, there's nothing that can be done, because the ocean will not disappear. You must become the ocean. You must assume all of the honors, the accolades that will be bestowed on you today, some of whom are genuine, some I dare not say otherwise. It has been a great honor to serve you, my Chief Justice. For me to serve with you. Today, as I said, when you step from here, CJ, I want you to remember, you still have to teach me how to do those judgments, because it's my committee. You still have to teach me to be short. Too much fact, not necessary. Just say the main things. You don't want to impress anybody. You want to say the main things, and you want to calm down on it. So, CJ, you told me when I came here to light up my face, to smile more, to not let anybody to know what you're feeling, because it's what your enemies would like to see. It's what your detractors would like to see. Don't be a smile. I even want them to wear this thing, so that nobody really knows what I'm thinking. I've learned that from her. Sometimes I look at her walking down the hallway and say, this kind of woman has really learned, because it seems as though she doesn't see. And I want to learn that from you, so I'm going to follow you in your retirement to learn a little more lesson as stepping up and speaking truth to power, no matter who it is. Congratulations.
Well, she's Associate Justice, Her Honor Ciara Clinton Johnson, and his tribute, which was led by the President of the Liberia National Bar Association, Councillor Bonovama, and that was followed by the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, Councillor Augustine Fire.
This is a man of
Let's now go to
which I have the ability. You know, guys, I must admire
Associate
Sister
Justice and Incoming Justice Minister.
Most of the things I say are frank. So,
Not just the Minister, but Chief Justice Yami Kwekwe
my friends in Canada,
as he pays tribute
he just
to
it was around 1996 when I was still a law student.
Al Gore, Chief Justice.
I saw her at a death note in an argument with another lawyer. And she displayed, practically drilled the lawyer and the watch. And I couldn't believe it. My friends, I see a female lawyer performing that way. So when I left her, I saw her, who is that? She said, no, she's Councillor York. I said, wow. So they mean I'm married. And today, he appeared to me as a happy yesterday. And next in Kandor, other 2 nights. She had just come to the Supreme Court. And I come to argue my case. And I felt that she should kill herself. But I was embarrassed. So I said, I don't think there's a use. He said, what happened? I said, she wrote. They know you don't tell. Bro, I feel that she will kill herself. She didn't be having a daddy. What? That part of the practice. And staying in Canada, but when I been elevated to the Supreme Court, Roma all around the Chief Justice doesn't see the one who can. Everywhere I go, just make sure you know what you can. What I want to do, and that's true, but that was the situation. The foreign minister came to the bench, and by then, the locally, her head from couldn't go to many places. Araji, social person. So he doesn't put a front. You're only just a human saying, what is your double? What is your double? So she went on moving from one program to another. Also, the program will be dancing. I said, wow. And so by then, I knew that she was a good woman. And I'm convinced by then she had known that was not a basic, it was not as rough as she thought. I was. What is that? In my dad, that the name called Zike. Why the name is a life, is a stage, a theater. You had the opportunity to be there and perform. And perform to the best of their ability. Just say you teaching, you have performed. Why what people say for you is their business. As far as I know, you have performed and made an impact on this society. You have done what God requires you to do. I have gradually discovered that you are a very good person, a cordial person. The good thing that we have in common to are hard enough. But we never clash. So I'm sure we're surely dealing with one another. I learned a lot of things from you. CJ, the life know what it is. You are playing your part. And you are playing very well. As you embark on a new chapter in your life, I want to take this moment to express my deepest gratitude and appreciation of your dedication to duty, your expertise, and your leadership. Your contribution to the Liberian judiciary has been invaluable, and your impact will remain for years to come. Your passion, your wisdom, your commitment to excellence, especially in drafting judgment, your meticulous detail in editing draft opinions have personally inspired me and have left an indelible mark on those of all who serve on the U.S. bench. We are going to miss you, miss the smiles, your presence, but we are also excited to see where your retirement takes you. I wish you all the best as you begin your new journey. May it be filled with joy, realization, fulfillment, of course, not forgetting your exercise. You are earned it. Thank again for your service to your nation, your mentorship, and your friendship. I am honored to have worked with you. Finally, as you retire, please do justice to your grandchildren with your time, love, and care. And of course, leaving little time for the rare ones. And the dancing that you love so much. Lastly, Doctor, I advise that as you age, don't sleep at home.
start first paraphrasing
That was the voice of the Chief
opening
Justice
statement
of the Republic of Liberia,
back
His Honor Yamin Kokwe Gbese,
when
let's now go to the Associate Justice, His Honor Yusuf D. Kaba, for tribute.
I come today not to praise Chief Justice you, but to be her father. As the highest judicial officer having served the judiciary for the longest time in the judicial service, with the exception of Judge Onto, whom I met here. I believe I am properly situated to chronologically see the role and station of Chief Justice you in the machination of the judiciary. When I entered the judiciary some 27 years ago, that was in 1998, I served under the administration of Chief Justice TrueLiberia and under that administration, the role of the judicial administration was to put together the broken pieces of our justice system. During the Stark administration, Stark took over the judiciary when Liberia was fragmented. We have Britain Liberia, we have the Monrovia-based government. They all had their own judicial system operating. So her major role was to bring together those broken pieces so as to have a unified judiciary. Later, I served under Henry Cover. Justice Cover's role was to hold the judiciary together during that interim period. When again we had just come from war and an interim arrangement was in place, his role was to see how we can hold the court together. Then I was privileged to also serve under Chief Justice Johnny N. Lewis. His vision was to reconstruct the judiciary, because when he came in, this building was a filth. So he focused on trying to reconstruct the judiciary with all the quick impact projects going around, building ministerial postcard pieces to operate. I also had the privilege to serve under my big brother, Chief Justice Francis Popper. His role was the consolidation of what Chief Justice Johnny N. Lewis was reconstructing. And he did an excellent work. in that area. Then comes Chief Justice Siagine Yu. She came with her own vision. Her vision was to rebrand the judiciary. In other words, give the judiciary a new image through a lot of areas and facets of judicial administration. One of the greatest achievements, I think, and subsequent Chief Justice will benefit from that, was the enforcement of the Financial Autonomy Act promulgated by the National Legislature for the judiciary. She fearlessly and tirelessly fought to ensure that the other two branches of our government respect and give meaning to the operation of the Financial Autonomy Act of the judiciary. Both sides, she fought to ensure that the judiciary is considered as an equal branch of the government of Liberia and not a stepchild of our governance system. For that, Chief Justice, you will be remembered. She didn't only stop there. She carved a 5-year strategic plan. A 5-year strategic plan that mapped out Liberia. And today, we can see the benefits of what you dream of. Today, we can see ports shooting up in Maryland County. Just 2 days ago, we visited magisterial complexes. I'm not saying magisterial building. I'm saying magisterial complexes in Gunnersville, in Broadville, in Kingsville, and we know several others of those complexes are being constructed in other parts of Liberia. Today, we are hearing about the digitalization of our judiciary. That, in my own opinion, is a marked achievement. If I continue to say what Chief Justice, your contribution to the judiciary is, I won't be from here today. But what I can say is, the consult relationship that evolved between us during your time on the Supreme Court, I assure you it will continue. And as my sister just told you, your impact and what you have gathered through your judicial service, we will always tap on it. Because I remember my first encounter with you was when I was a circuit judge. And you appeared before me to prosecute a matter. And when I saw you and the manner informed me, I didn't know you were older than me. But the manner informed me which you prosecuted that matter informed me that indeed something great was ahead for you, and my expectation was proven right. Therefore, I know history behind you, and the people of Liberia will remain grateful for the service. Thank you.
His Associate Justice, His Honor Yusuf D. Kaba,
My tribute.
paying tribute to the
On September
outgoing Chief
27th,
Justice, Her Honor
2020,
Sianen Yo.
we're here for the same purpose.
And let's now go over to
That was the
Associate Justice James
retired,
Eto
our then Chief Justice
Howard
Copper.
Wolokoli for tribute. This is
And just
LMTV
in the
live
short
from
time
the
we
Temple of
I
Justice
spoke with
here in
President Justice
at the retirement ceremony
in line with a vision of women
Chief
empowerment
Justice Sianen
and participation in the governance of the
Yo
nation.
taking
She
place
insisted on appointing
at
women to
Augustin
serve
in Monrovia.
in the government, targeting all branches of the government. In her reorganization of the Supreme Court bench, in consonance with the Accra Peace Talk, President Johnson appointed Justice Gladys Johnson as one of the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court. And when Associate Justice Emmanuel Red died, shortly after having extended to the bench, President Johnson insisted that another woman be appointed to bring a semblance of gender balance on the bench. I was appointed to replace him. Later, when Justice Gladys Johnson retired, the President, in a bid again to keep a gender balanced court, appointed you, Chief Justice Yo, a confident and self-assured female counselor to replace Associate Justice Gladys Johnson. You having served on this bench as an Associate Justice from the March term 2013, President George Weah saw it fit to appoint you as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court to replace Chief Justice Francis S. Copper, who had attained the age of 70 and retired. Exhibiting one of the characteristics of a female lawyer, of a female leader, a visionary, you, Justice Yo, in your almost 3 years as Chief Justice, have set and exhibited a clear course for the future of the judiciary as to where you want it to be, and you set out to communicate it effectively. In your intolerance for overcrowded dockets, ineffectiveness of the court system, poor performance of judges, and the inadequate facility for operating cases, you insisted on judges' proper management of the dockets. As for the Supreme Court, you formed the rules that effectively handled the efficient and effective clearing of appeals and other papers appearing before the court. If I thought I was tough, hard-working, and organized, and a tyrant when it comes to accomplishing goals, you beat me. I saw in you a knack for accomplishment, and I set out to partner with you in this regard. I often laugh when I think of how all of your frustration from receiving numerous complaints coming from litigants appearing before the magisterial courts, how you went out with all notice to visit these courts, and finding the courts overcrowded with party litigants who have come day after day to have cases disposed of, how you take the bull by the horn, sitting there with them, having them call up cases and practically helping them adapt the George Julie style and effectively and speedily handling matters appearing before these courts. For so long, as Justice Kaba said, the judiciary was ignored, overlooked, and treated, who say, like a ministry, instead of an equal branch of government by the other two branches of government. Your courage in taking up the challenge to overcome this major obstacle and ensuring the effective running of the judiciary was admirable and exhibited one of the characteristics of a female leader. I often laugh when I recall how you bundle us up to go with you to put forward your case to the president? How you invite the Speaker, Pro and other leaders of the legislature to make a case on behalf of the judiciary? From your many presentations to them, I have come to memorize few of your lines in the talk with them, propounding the need for the agenda to the judiciary, and particularly hammering that their adherence to the Judicial Financial Autonomy Act, explaining that it entails explaining what it entails and the regard that the act generates for the autonomy of the judiciary. Thank you, Madam Chief Justice, that because of your courage and insistence and effort in generating President Burka's regard for the role of the judiciary plays in our society, for the first time, the 80 years I've been with the judiciary, the approved judicial budget has reached 23 billion. It was 16, 17, 18, we were fighting. She won us up, that's good. And I mean, you could see, man. And when she get ready to make the break, she just say, "Arrow." And she'll go on with arrow, and then she will go, she'll be firmly making the break. And I guess they got tired of us and decided, well, let's do something this time. Thank you, CJ. You have played your role well. Your 3 years of leadership has impacted the judiciary. You are not leaving the judiciary for guidance, but have worked in ensuring that you left a blueprint for the judiciary to stay on a consistent and steady path for 5 years in its development. The development of the 5-year strategic plan led by you is a masterpiece, which we pray will be followed by a successor and which will generate the building of a proud, strong, effective, and respectable judiciary. I know many of the councillors practicing before the Supreme Court will remember you for the role you played in making them better lawyers. Your lectures frequently given to them when their performance before the court was this rough, and your fines imposed on them, though I must admit, was sometimes how I am sure helped in preparing them to be better counselors and to give the true regards deserving of this court by counselors practicing before it. Go and rest well, Justice Yu. As strong and as young as you are, take advantage of other potentials that you have and continue to give back to your country to impact the society. You are not old, you have much to give, and we expect much of you as we leave this bench. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Now you continue in the selection from the
Associate Justice James Eto, our monopoly, and paying tribute. That will conclude the tribute from the Associate Justices.
Has cemented a very positive relationship with the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, Her Honor, Sianen Yor. And we're here to tell that family that over the many years of her legal profession, she has never lost a praise. And that will be followed by a special selection that she asked for that says, "Hide me, oh God." And I was interested why after she's retiring, she's asking God to hide her. But we know the dear old Lord will always hide her in her presence. Thank you.
Some good friends along
God. I will be still, know you are God.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much. Mr. Marshall, as in keeping with tradition, you along with the Minister
Beautiful selection done by the
of Justice Ministry.
Let's now go over to Associate Justice for Honor James Eto.
We ask just for me to go.
What do you call it?
My response.
Let's get the response from the outgoing Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia.
We have observed a complete silence while honoring the Chief Justice of the past.
Thank you, choir, again, for that, for honoring me with that last song. You asked why that song and why I need for God to hide me. For over 30 years, I've been in a profession, one that I've gotten comfortable with, used to, and so zealous for. And I'm leaving that. Going out to ventures that are totally unaware to me at this time. Except that at 70 years of age, I should go and have some time for myself, by myself, and to just, as Justice Blissey said, and the incoming Chief Justice said, have time for my grandchildren. You all know about my grandchildren on this bench. To have time and space and love with my family. So with that, I need to be hidden in the secret place of the Most High. To be hidden in His pavilion, and to know that I can be still, knowing that He is God who started me on this journey, and He will see me through this new step I'm about to take. So I will be still and know He is God. Madam Senior Associate Justice, Mr. Justice, incoming Chief Justice, my colleagues, Justices Kabal and CNN incoming Justice, Sorry, Justice Kabal, because I'm determined to call you Al-Haji. Al-Haji. So he has been blessing us since his return from the Hajj, coming with new rules even for the Supreme Court from the Hajj. But thank all of you so much. Legislators here present, former Chief Justices and Associate Justices of the Honorable Supreme Court, the representative of the Minister of Justice and Attorney General and Dean of the Supreme Court, the doyen and members of the diplomatic corps, our development partners, or let me qualify that as the judiciary development partners, the President, members, and members of the National Association of Trial Judges of Liberia. I intimidated the President Nancy so much and told her she had to, even if she had to find a boat to come out of Lofa, she should be here for this program. Madam President, I see you there. The President and members of the Liberian National Bar Association, the President and members of the Association of Female Lawyers of Liberia, a National Association of Public Defenders, Madam Court Administrator, and staff of the Judiciary, members of the press, distinguished uncle, he has represented my late father since his death. Bamu Sir. Bamu, welcome. And we came here to well this time. Thank you all for being here. In accordance, of course, as there has been heralded here with Article 72B of the Liberian Constitution, 1986, which requires justices and judges to retire at the age of 70 years. We are here again today to honorably witness the retirement program of one who, in obedience to our organic law, is leaving her seat of honor after having reached the age of 70. Chief Justice CIA Jape Yor. For the first time, I will be sharing with you the story, a very short story, of a journey that I have chosen to call, and I put, the end of the beginning of my tenure as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, unquote. This story, when heard of mutually exclusive events spanning like bridges across 3 administrative destinies of our government, will intrigue you of the beauty and intricacies of the law. The rivers fixed and flooded the ability of the Supreme Court to interpret the law for the good of the nation, the public, nor overrun the sanity of our society. The foundation of the 5 marks 12 years and 4 months since I was seated first as Associate Justice and subsequently Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. I was commissioned as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia on April 29, 2013. During the administration of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, which position I held until September 29, 2022, when I took the oath of office there and then for the position of Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, which began on October 10, 2022, the formal opening date of the October term of the Supreme Court, thereby marking the commencement of my official duties as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Let me share with you further details on the latter event, seeing being my commissioning as Chief Justice. This historic event occurred at a time when Liberia was enthralled by its presidential and legislative elections, as per the dictates of our Constitution, as espoused in Article 83A, stating, and I quote, voting for the President, Vice President, members of the Senate, and members of the House of Representatives shall be conducted throughout the Republic on the 2nd Tuesday of October of each election year, unquote. Elections are not ordinary events in any country, and this country is no exception. Elections are not ordinary events. During these times, even the subtle of spirits become activated. These are the first and second branches of government, so named, raised up during these events to usher in a wave of changes that soon visited the leadership of those branches. As the news of the wave raged on, favorably or not, the vessels of our citizens anticipated the law as the available point of anchorage, and should always be the only dock to which society looks for mooring or for safety from turbulent seas. Highlighting the ending of one elected administration and the beginning of another, these complementing events have historically position the U.S. bench of the Supreme Court of Liberia between the hosting of an appointing administration constitutionally and the commencement of a new administration, that is the Waika administration. Howbeit, the one thing that could not have changed, no matter what, and must always remain constant amidst the foregoing changes, is the law. Hence, my declaration from that onset, and I quote, "The law is the law." Or in the instant context, the law remains the law. No matter what, whether there are changes in governments or administrations, the law remains the law. Dear friends of the bench, ladies and gentlemen, with the intervention, history has been kind to the U.S. bench for this justice 2 years and 4 months. The rough seas became still and the steep hills became low. The bench birthed during a period of contest for political power between two formidable political forces at a crucial time in our history, could have only maintained the constitutional footprint of the court as the keeper of the law at all times and nothing else. A mandate handed down and a feat achievable amidst challenges only by reliance on God. And on this note, I quote one of my favorite scriptures of the Bible from Psalm 18, verse 29. Quote, "For by thee I have run through a troop, and by my God I have leaped over a wall." Unquote. With these few words, I want to first say farewell to my colleagues of the Supreme Court bench. And I do not use that word loosely, that word farewell, because for indeed the majority of my life has been spent in the pursuit of law and the practice of law. So indeed it is my ardent prayer that the bench coming under Mr. Justice Yanni Kwekwe Senior will fare well as you continue to steer the ship of this institution and this honorable Supreme Court. I say also farewell to judges of subordinate courts, magistrates, the entire judiciary, the executive and legislative branches of government, the people of Liberia, and all of us. I am going to my family. May God bless the government and save our nation. Thank you.
Well, there's the retirement statement, and very concise by the outgoing Chief Justice Sharon Yo.
Mr. Marshall, as in keeping with tradition, you, along with the designates of the Ministry of Justice, the President of the Liberian National Bar Association, will now honorably escort for honors hearing Yapi Yo to the Supreme Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, many of the Robert of this honorable
So folks, there you have it. The former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, Sianen G.O. Kafanade, departed the bench of the Supreme Court of Liberia. She was escorted by the Marshal of the Supreme Court of Liberia. She's currently in the reserve zone, and
in honor of our honorary retired justice,
the seat of
the
Chief Justice is now.
Because of the special nature of this program, we put some arrangements in place that we would like you to observe downstairs so that we can have an orderly reception.
Will take his
position. We have 4 different
justice of
stations.
Later on this
in the main hall, the ground floor hall, the Supreme Court will be hosting
will be
senior officials of government from both the executive and the legislature,
along with
retired and former chief justices and associate justices of the Supreme Court,
of the Chief Justice,
members of the diplomatic corps, our development partners, judges of courts of record, the executive council of the LNBA, and senior councillors of the Supreme Court Bar, senior councillors of the Supreme Court, immediate family members, and special invitees of the honorary will also be in the main hall. The court administrator and directors of the judiciary. That is the main hall. In criminal courts A and B, we will have councillors of the Supreme Court Bar. The first instance, senior councillors. We are now saying councillors of the Supreme Court Bar. The Monrovia Bar Choir will be accommodated in Code B along with the councillors. Criminal Code B. The third station is the corridor before the Monrovia City Court. And at that station we'll be hosting magistrates, attorneys at law, assistant directors of the judiciary, other family members of the honorary. The fourth and last station is the front yard of the civil law court. And we'll be hosting the general staff of the judiciary. We implore all of you to observe these arrangements so that we all enjoy the reception. Thank you.
Okay, now, Mr. Marshall,
Your Honor,
having completed and sustained the honorary program for the retirement of the chief. They did not say what you prayed before. Yeah, okay, right? Anyone of you before the Alhaji, please don't be able to
the Lord be with you. So we pray. Gracious Father, again we thank you for the time you've allowed us to be here. We thank you for these witnesses. And as we leave this place, Lord, we pray that your blessings will go with us anywhere we go until we meet again. This is our prayer of thanksgiving. We pray in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Mr. Marshall.
So folks, thanks so much for following LNTV. This is how we love to come to an end of this program. This has been 2 into 1 program. First, we witnessed the official closure of the March 2025 terms of court, and the court will resume the second Monday in October, and also the retirement of the third Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, you having the constitutional required age of 70.
Being the second working Monday in October 18, 2025. The hereby so much.
The required age of 70. So finally, the Supreme Court of Liberia have closed, but we have the most senior Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, which is Ethel Howard Wolokoli Inchumra, that will conduct regular basis for the Supreme Court of Liberia. Thank you so much for following. I've been here along with Icing. So just before we leave, Icing, we have been here from downstairs. We came upstairs. We witnessed the closure of the Mahakama Court and followed by the retirement of the third female Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. What's your own overview of the activities so far?
Yeah, I think it was a colorful ceremony, owing to the fact that judicial actors will come together under one umbrella, and the atmosphere under which it was held. And the outgoing or retired Chief Justice is living with smiles on her face, and the incoming is also someone who have over the years worked with the outgoing Chief Justice, and you listen to the number of tributes that were paid here coming from the President of the Liberia National Bar Association, also the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, Councillor Augustine Fire, and talking about all of the full justices of the Supreme Court bench. Well, I think it was a colorful ceremony, and we hope that moving forward now, as we now have the new Chief Justice, that the judicial system and the reform in the judicial system will also continue. And I want to say thanks to everyone for watching. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, folks. Have a wonderful time. Keep